Welcome to Film Therapy, the unofficial, unlicensed movie podcast. Hello, this is Film Therapy.
Welcome.
We talk about movies. Sometimes we say things that sound like something your therapist would say, but more often than not, we just say random crap. So
Random crap. And if you like movies, this is the place to be. Because we
Yeah.
love movies. You know what we especially love is Dune and Twin Peaks and David Lynch and SpongeBob, Twister, Elvis Presley.
Elvis has got pretty good music, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's pretty sick. We sometimes watch some anime. Not Marley and me. Marnie.
Marnie and me, yeah. My favorite Elvis Presley movie of all time, though, is the one where he and Australian Bill Pullman go on a car ride that we cannot find.
I know, that's the only one I was referencing, and I want the full version so bad. It's my lifelong dream.
We have been trying to find that damn movie for
Oh god, how many years?
6 years now, Maddie.
Oh.
Almost 6 years.
Oh my.
6 years this fall.
We will link the clip in the comments or in the description again. We should just link it every time.
Every episode.
Yeah,
we'll link it every time. until someone fucking finds it for us.
Someone, please, whoever's the director of this film, contact us.
For the love of God, if you're the director of this film, come on here. We'd love to interview you. We'd love to watch the film with you. We'd love your commentary.
Yes, all of that.
What if it's David Lynch? Wouldn't that be the greatest twist of all time?
It would shiver my timbers.
I wouldn't have been by the last time my timbers were shivered was when I was on a ship with a bunch of crewmates and I rowed up to the ship because I had found the long lost treasure.
Oh, okay.
And the captain actually came out of his quarters and he was so elated. It was just I felt so prideful of myself. And he opened and he asked me where he was looking around. He's like, where is it? And I was like, it's right here, Captain. And he's like, I never thought I'd see it with me own eye. And then he picked it up and held it out up to the whole crew and proudly proclaimed what the treasure was.
What was it?
Tickets to the SpongeBob movie. 20 years ago. You know what else came out 20 years ago? Napoleon Dynamite.
What?
Shrek 2.
Oh. Yeah, 2004, kind of a iconic year. Let's look.
Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Lost in Translation.
No, that was 2003, I think. But also Eternal Sunshine, Prisoner of Azkaban, Before Sunset, Garden State, Mean Girls, Collateral, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Scooby-Doo 2, Agent Cody Banks 2, Shaun of the Dead,
yes,
Kill Bill Volume 2, Howl's Moving Castle, The Notebook, The Village, Stuck in the Suburbs, Ella Enchanted, and of course your favorite movie of all time, Sideways. The Yu-Gi-Oh movie, Halloween Town High, Shark Tale, National Treasure.
Oh man. Okay. Great year.
One of the best years of cinema. Minus Sideways. Everything else I said is
forget
peak.
About that. Dude, okay. Wow, 20-year anniversary for Shrek 2 and Ella Enchanted. Love it.
But we're not talking about either of those movies today.
No, we're not.
We're talking about a recent film. We're talking about Challengers, which stars Zendaya and Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor, I believe is his name.
Have you seen Mike Faist? Feist?
I think it's Faist.
Feist in anything else? Because I don't think I have.
Yeah, he was in the remake of West Side Story, and he was really good in that movie.
Okay.
He was probably...
Nope, I didn't see that.
He was probably the best one, at least one of the best parts of that movie, if not the best part of that movie.
Nice.
Like him and
great.
Ariana DeBose and Rachel Ziegler, like they were all really amazing in that movie.
Cool. I feel like he would be really great in like a musical type.
He is. He's great in that movie. Like what's so funny is
awesome.
In the original West Side Story, his character Riff is played by Dr. Jacoby from Twin Peaks.
Yes. I listened to an interview with him on some movie podcast. I can't remember, but Oh, he was talking all about that role. I love that.
And then in the original West Side Story, also the guy who plays the main character is Audrey's dad from Twin Peaks. So they're
oh my gosh, crazy!
They're two of the leads in that movie.
That's wow, full circle.
Yeah,
because I've seen Josh O'Connor in The Crown. He played a young Prince Charles.
Is that the one with Anya Taylor-Joy in it?
Is she in that? I don't think so.
Oh.
No, she's in... Oh, that's Emma. She's in Emma, and he's in Emma as well.
But wait, isn't there something like The Crown and she's in that? Or is that...
Is she in The Crown?
Maybe not.
Well, I haven't caught up in the last couple seasons, but let's see. Queen's Gambit.
Oh, is that what I'm thinking of? Is Queen's Gambit?
Maybe. That's she's an American girl, but she plays a really good character that's good at chess. No, I don't think she's in. No, okay. They're together in Emma, the movie Emma.
Yes.
But separately, she was in the Queen's Gambit and he was in The Crown. I think we started to watch Emma and it was a really, really great art direction in that film, but I guess we just never got back to it.
The Crown?
No, Emma.
Oh, Emma. Okay. Isn't that something to do with like Jane Eyre or something like that?
What is that? Emma.
Oh wait, no, wait. Isn't Emma a Jane Austen book?
I think so. Yes, Jane Austen. Yep.
And this was a movie. Yeah, this was yep. Okay, no, Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice, and since not Jane Eyre. Who wrote Jane Eyre? I meant to say Charlotte Bronte wrote Jane Eyre. I meant to say Jane Austen, and then I said Jane Eyre, and I was like, well, okay. you know,
easily confused.
Actually, she's a cyborg.
Oh, really?
No, that's a Friends reference.
Oh, well, Oh, Mia Goth is also in Emma.
Oh, I love Mia Goth.
Which I have been obsessed with. We'll get into her later.
With
my recent watches.
I need to see Maxine. I haven't seen it yet.
Me too. I need to see it.
I'm so stoked to see it. X was great and Pearl was amazing.
I love Pearl.
Pearl is such a good movie. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about Challengers today. Maddie, what did you think about Challengers?
Overall, loved it. The soundtrack was very annihilating. And
yes.
I dug it. I think it was a little off-putting at first, but once you kind of got in the groove of it, it's like, okay, here's what the soundtrack means. Here's when we're in a tense moment and we're gonna play some techno music. And it was cool. I watched this with Noah and he loves Zendaya. So
don't we all?
He pointed out the scene where they're first all hanging out. Oh, we need to do a synopsis. Shit.
Okay, so Challengers is about tennis, but it's actually not about tennis.
Nah.
It's about three people that should just be together, but for some reason it's kind of a love triangle.
Yeah, it's so there's two boys who are teammates that play doubles together for tennis. Then they go on to have separate singles careers, and the girl, Zendaya, has a successful career as a tennis player as well already. But we see from the beginning that she's married to one of the guys from the doubles. What's his name? Pat and Tashi are married. No. Art and Tashi are married.
Yeah.
And Pat is the other guy. So Art and Pat were teammates for a long time, but then they went on to do their single careers. Tashi and Art are now married, but we jump between these timelines of we start in 2019, then we go back to 2006.
I think so. I think it's a 7-year time gap.
And then from there it's okay, 3 years later, okay, 2 years back, okay, 3 years later. It's really confusing, honestly. I had to keep doing math in my head.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm not sure if that was the most the best way to do it. I don't know, but it was interesting. But you definitely had to keep track of the timelines based on Zendaya's haircut, which I think is what movies do a lot with haircuts. It's okay, if she's got short hair, it's in the present. If she got long hair, it's in the past. So when they were on the beach, the first night that all three of them got together to meet, Noah was like, "Oh, this is like a Pantene commercial. Like every shot of Zendaya, her hair is like flapping in the wind, and it's the shiniest thing possible. And every shot, she's just like flipping her hair. So accurate. But what did you think about the timeline?
I have the exact same thoughts. I thought it was kind of confusing how it kept volleying back and forth, but it's also kind of the point. It's kind of like a tennis match in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times when they would go back to the present, I was more invested like in their story in the past. Like when they were younger and when like they first met Zendaya and both like were trying to get dates with her, and then like when she tore her ACL and stuff like that. Like I like all of that. Like I felt myself more invested in that than what was going on currently, except for the tennis match.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yes. Well, they hint to the past all the time within it. So it's like, okay, what happened? And then they show us and it's like, okay, more.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for when it's the tennis match, then we're in it all the way. We're watching back and forth. Who's gonna be the best? I thought it set it up for like a great, like a story about a love triangle, really, but it was really like sexual right off the bat, like with
immediately
Art and his trainer,
yes,
and the banana, the churro motifs, and
the entire movie is just sex, and that's great. Every movie should just be this sexy. Every movie should be this sexual. Aspire to be this sexual.
No, I disagree. I don't want to be turned on when I'm watching a movie. I don't know.
Why? Why would you not want to be turned on when watching a movie? Isn't that?
Because I'm like, I don't want to have to like excuse myself and relieve myself when I'm watching a movie. I'm just I want to be more passive about it. I just want to be like,
that's fair.
I don't want to be bothered by it. Like, I'm here. I'm gonna watch this, and that's the thing with like these couple movies I've watched from, what we're gonna talk about later, my recent watches. But
that's fair.
I don't prefer to watch that because I would rather because it distracts me. I guess it like takes me out of the movie, and I just want to watch a movie. You know.
I get that.
So, but yeah, like I just thought it was gonna be way more like bisexual than it was, because that's the only thing I heard about this movie before
me too
was like bisexual. That's it.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, so like he's gonna really like Art's gonna really yearn for Pat, and this is gonna be a whole situation between their whole relationship with him and his wife Tashi. But really it wasn't. It was more about Art becoming like an athlete and becoming himself with Tashi rather than becoming himself with Art or with Pat.
Yes. And
which I mean I still loved, but go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to think of my thing from earlier because let's see, because like everything, I can't remember, because we were talking about how the movie was like in the past and how it kind of volleys back and forth between the timelines and stuff. I think for me the thing that really like because that's kind of what I'd heard about the movie was it was more, from my understanding, it was more like about like a poly couple or a like a polycule rather than being necessarily a love triangle.
Okay.
In the beginning of the movie, like I was just thinking like, okay, like when it's in the present day and like Tashi and Art are married and they have a kid and stuff like that, I was like, okay, or so from my understanding was that the movie was kind of like was kind of more about the three of them forming a relationship or kind of being in a relationship, kind of weaving in and out of that. And in some ways the movie was about that, but I think that's part of why the sections from the past like interested me more, because I just felt like super invested in like the connection between all three of them, and I felt super invested like because even though Tashi isn't like the nicest person, like I understood her character a lot more, where she was coming from and like how how they both fell out with Pat when she had her injury, and how like it was kind of both her and Art's decision together for different reasons to be like, he's gonna be like a really important tennis star.
Yeah.
Like they like, you can tell that that's something that they decided on together when they got married, but they decided it for like different reasons. And then, and then I loved the stuff with like Pat just trying to get a place to stay, trying to get in the hotel and everything, and like the entire like tennis match, like that was all like so riveting, especially towards the end. I don't know, just kind of just kind of like the stuff with like Zendaya and each of the individual guys in the present. Just I don't think I gelled with that part as much because I didn't feel as connected to her character or like their relationships to her, because it felt more like that part of the movie, like, and I guess the ending kind of felt this way too, where it's like it felt like it was more about the two of those guys reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of like obviously you know why she is the way she is, but
mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel as connected to her character in the present, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. She's kind of the outsider, and she's there when the boys are pining over her, and then she's there as the coach, but she's not really there as like the wife or mother. I think that's important because that's not really who she is. She was meant to be like a tennis star.
Yes.
And then due to an injury, she had to default to a wife and mother coach, which she's great at, but not ideal in her situation. So yeah, no, my favorite scene was probably like the scene where they're all in the hotel room and like gonna maybe start a threesome or something.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting the whole movie to be.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed watching that. Her like power over them was like really inspiring. It was just like, yeah, you bitches. You love it. You love me. Let's get it, you know? Yeah, I really expected it to go like from there on in the movie. I'm not mad where it ended up. It was just different than what I expected. Yeah,
I guess I was expecting more fluidity between their relationship. And like I loved the little moments, how they set up the gesture of Patrick like having like his ball in the racket, like saying like signifying
that got me. I was like
slept with her again, and like that.
Yes,
that was so great. Like both times they did it, like when they set it up and when they paid it off, it was just absolutely amazing.
That was very memorable. And yeah, when at the end I was like, he's gonna do it, and yep. Oh man, it was so good, so good.
I was just so invested in I wanted both of them to win for different reasons, and I was just this is gonna be really good.
I know, because like, whose side are you on, really?
I don't know
either. Why was Pat so poor and like asking for rooms and sleeping in his car? And because I thought right at the beginning it was giving motifs like he was scratching his arm. I thought he was like a heroin addict.
Yeah, I thought that too.
But I don't really know why was he so desperate to have a place to stay? Because his family's not rich? I don't know.
I guess we don't really know what happened unless we both missed something.
Yeah, I feel like I missed something, but
I really did like this movie a lot. I think my only thing with it was just the vibe of Call Me by Your Name is just so like serene and tranquil, and just like the music and the atmosphere is just so like it just
uncomparable.
Yeah.
So magical.
Yeah, it's so magical. It's more of that like Before Sunrise kind of vibe. And I still have yet to see Bones and all, but I really want to see that one.
Oh, it's so good.
The other thing I guess I wanted to know was how you interpreted the very end, because it's
okay. Yeah.
Art and Pat, they go up, they collide into each other and like embrace. Then Zendaya has like two reactions to that, and I kind of thought of it as because at the beginning of the movie she's like I don't want to be a homewrecker, I just want to watch really good tennis.
Yeah.
The way the movie is told non-linearly, like the movie feels like a tennis match, is like in terms of its structure.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that makes a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah, and thank you. She's got two reactions, like where she's like, damn it, come on, but then she's also like cheering like crazy. And so I'm like,
yeah.
I think one reaction was because they both maybe chose each other over her, but also she got to see them play some really great fucking tennis.
Which is all she asked for.
Which is all she ever asked for and all she ever wanted. It still kind of left me feeling a little unresolved because I'm like, neither of them are really... Art isn't happy with her because their marriage isn't a happy marriage, and she's obviously like, she went and slept with Pat again anyway, so they wouldn't be happy together either. So it's like that part to me also just kind of felt like y'all just can't have a threesome. Like,
can we all just be together happily?
yeah, like,
I think maybe that's part of her frustration. Well, so if you remember her first match where Art and Pat are watching her, that's what she yells like when she hits like one of her points. She's like, "Oh, come on!" And she gets all like hyped up.
Yes,
and it sounds angry, but it's like, it means like, yeah, like hell yeah, I'm the best. So I think that's how I interpreted the ending, was like, let's fucking go, you guys. Like, I love both of you, and like I'm married to Art, and that's the way it is, but like also Pat, we have a past, and I kind of love you too. And like, I think like that's really her frustration coming out in the moment, like, fuck, like what am I supposed to yell in this moment?
Yeah,
and then they're
fuck.
Embracing in this crazy mess of arms and legs, and it's just like, yeah, what are you supposed to say? Like, because they love each other too. And I wish we saw more of that, I guess, relationship, because we saw just a tiny bit, and like the one where they were in the hotel room, and then the sauna, and then the end, I feel like that was pretty much it. And I wanted more.
Me too.
But I think Pat was like more standoffish and Art was more reserved, and it didn't work. And that's why Tashi had to pick between one or the other, and she picked the more reliable person and someone who was more fit to be a family man, which I don't blame her. But then there's always that like feeling of like, oh well, if I chose this guy and we had some great times together, but she's like, oh come on, I don't know.
I wish there was more. In some ways it does end on a really good note, but because I don't know how else you would wrap it up, like what their conversations would be like afterward, but it just kind of feels like are any of them ever gonna be happy? Like what is like what does their future mean? Like,
yeah,
not to compare the entire movie, but also Call Me by Your Name. I think even though that movie ends on a longer moment, I think it ends more definitively than this movie does.
Yes, I would agree. Which I don't know if we mentioned is the same director.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Constantly, other than the fact that
I would agree. Like, the ending of Call Me by Your Name is way more definitive because we hear the other perspective, and he's like, "Yep, this is how it is," and we see protagonist's face of sorrow. So
we see Timothée Chalamet just being the most amazing, being one of the most amazing humans on Earth for 4 minutes, and it's great.
Love that final shot.
I do too. It's one of my favorite final shots in the movie.
Hurts my heart.
I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah, I want to. I could just hear the Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah, me too.
So, I didn't know anything about this movie, right? And I looked it up, and it was like a sports drama. I was like, sports? I don't know if I want to watch that. But yeah, I just went with it. And it was like, okay, all right. The cinematography was awesome with like the tennis ball angles and stuff.
Oh yeah, it almost made me sick. Not really, but it got a little close where I was like, okay, like I'm glad I didn't see this in the theater because that would have really fucked with my head.
Right. That would have been a lot. Yeah. So, do you have a character who you feel most sympathetic towards, or is it just kind of like up in the air?
It's just kind of up in the air. It's definitely between the two guys though, because I get that Tashi's not supposed to be entirely likable, but I just felt like, and I guess that's kind of the point, is that when she's younger, she is more likable because like she hasn't had like her dreams entirely shattered yet. Like she's still hopeful. Yeah. She still has this sense, like obviously she's fucking around with these guys. She's like messing with their hearts and like probably isn't the best person, you know, but she has her ambitions and her goals, and she tells them outright, like, hey, like, this is what I want, and this is what, you know, you guys, this is what we can do, or whatever. And then, like, after her accident, it's just like, and then it's like even then, like, I felt like so sad for her. But then when we go to the present, and she's like a mom and a wife, and she just kind of has like, other than being arts coach and finding like solace through that, like she's really like, that isn't even enough. She's really lost like all hope for herself, like that, like that's the only way she can succeed in anything. And she's probably struggling with a lot of like self-confidence and self-worth stuff. I just think I didn't feel as sympathetic to her because the way that she expressed that out was through, like, she still loves Art, but she doesn't like treat him how he should be treated. She doesn't treat him very well. You know, like she's his coach first and his wife second. There's shots of like them sitting on the couch and like they're sitting like far apart. And obviously that's intentional. It's meant to show the divide between the two of them. But like I never really felt like their division was ever like fully like solved, because then she sees Patrick there and at first doesn't want anything to do with him, but then she ends up and goes and sleep with him, and they have that really great like argument scene in the rain, and that cinematography on that scene is amazing. Like just the lighting is so good. And
I know.
And then after that, like she goes home and she sees her husband in bed with their daughter, and it's just like so heartbreaking because he got up and like had his thought, and then it's confirmed the next day by Patrick, and like that whole thing. But then like, and like I said like earlier, it's like okay, like they're like they duke it out in tennis, and like they get all their emotions out in the open, and they like it's like this like she's like Zendaya says in the beginning, it's like this moment of the two of them that they can't, that like is only between the two of them, and like nobody else, like everybody else can only watch in awe because they're sharing something so personal and so special. But like, but if it kind of feels like with both of the guys separately and Zendaya, it never feels like we get resolution with each of their relationships with her, because she doesn't really, at least for me, it didn't seem like she really changed or wanted to change. But maybe that was the intention of why she has her reaction at the end, and maybe I missed something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that's the part that felt a little empty for me. And then I also wanted more of the guys' relationship, like of the, because all the scenes we get between the two of them are just like, I just want, like you said, I just wanted to see like more scenes of that, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it could have been deeper within the two of them. We got some backstory, but I don't know. If that was really part of the plot, I didn't see it. Yeah, I don't know. But I really sympathized with Zendaya because because of her injury and because of I don't know, it's like if I were in that situation between like the two guys, I would absolutely pick Art because he's so kind, down to earth, gentle, and Pat's like a manipulative asshole. Or like a womanizer type guy, you know? So I wouldn't go towards that. But I love that like Art was there for her when she got her injury.
He was. That was great.
That would stick with me. Then like I'm sure he's a great father. I don't know. I'm speculating. I also like enjoy that she can be his coach, also his wife, which that would be an extremely hard relationship.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
so when he tells her at the end where he's like, I'm gonna be done after this no matter what, she's like, okay. It's not what she wants to hear.
Oh yeah.
But they've got a family together, and
But doesn't she say something like if you don't win, like that's it for us or something like that?
yeah, she's like, I'm gonna be done. Which, okay, I don't agree with that, but
And then there's that scene where she and Patrick are sitting down, and then Art goes over and like is looking for them, and because they're sitting in like the lobby or whatever, and then he looks over and they've left, and like that's the moment that he realizes.
But that was that in the past though?
Oh, that might have been in the past.
Oh gosh, I get so confused.
I didn't expect this movie to be like Memento or something. Like,
right? Okay, so when she was in the hotel with him, I think that was no, maybe not. I don't know. I just think like I appraise her for her ability to coach somebody who's an aspiring player who she could not be because of her injury.
mm-hmm.
But then also fell in love with him because he helped her, and they've had this connection over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
Her mom has been there the whole time helping raise her and everything, which is nice. But it's still like, no, she's definitely like coach number 1, maybe mother, no, wife number 2, mother number 3, I don't know. But definitely coach heavy.
Yeah.
And that was very apparent.
Yeah, like you said, like the idea of the fact that if she was able to like let go of what she wanted and was able to be there for him more when he was like when she was coaching him and stuff like that, like maybe it would have felt better, but like it's just something about the first part of what you said, like I'm like that could be like a really good story in and of itself, but then the fact that like the second part of what you said is like, well, like if they ever were there and they were in love, then like that's not the case now, you know?
Yeah, it's very okay, you do this, I do this, there's no intimacy because she kind of like pushed away from him if he made any romantic advances. So
yeah,
it was just like, yep, you're the player, I'm the coach, I'm the mom, you're the dad, here we are. That's it. I don't know, I guess it's fine if you're rich enough but not ideal in a marriage situation. I don't think she would be happy with Pat either, because he's such a, I don't know, I don't like his character. I don't like the way he just...
It's like you said, he's more of like a go with the flow kind of like when we see him, like he's just living not even paycheck to paycheck. Like he's pretty much homeless, you know? So like
Yeah.
I liked his character better too, like in the flashbacks and everything. Like he felt like more of like a, even though he was the one that got to date Tashi and sleep with Tashi, like it still felt like he like honored his friendship with Art like enough to like tell him and everything, and like it seemed like they would just be friends like for a long time, like even if their friendship wasn't perfect. Also, like as a separate story, I like the idea, like I liked all the scenes of him like trying to like get a room for the night and trying to like get himself into the tennis match and all that stuff, like and like the moments that they had like during the tennis match, like when they were going back and forth, like I liked all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If she had chosen him, like it definitely wouldn't have been as stable, you know? But also who's to say?
Yeah.
But also who's to say? Because if he was the one who had been for her there that day, like if they hadn't had their fight and he had been there for her, like or like if he decided, fuck it, I'm gonna be there anyway, then maybe that would have changed things.
Yeah. It just kismet of it all. Just ended up that way.
Yeah, no, and it's funny that like we still like both liked it, but I think there were just areas we both just felt like we wanted, at least for me, I wanted the movie to just focus on different things than its main focus was. Like its the things it focused on the side, like those are the more interesting things to me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I still think it's a good movie. It's really well made. I just wanted a little more from it, I guess. But who knows?
Yes, I could agree. Really well made. I mean, great story overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the acting, the cinematography, like the movie, it's the filmmaking is like is fantastic.
Yeah, so good. Just not what I expected, but it was good.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if we both saw it again, we'd have different opinions going in.
Yeah.
It was a good movie, but there were things like I wanted more from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to watch Bones and All now because I wanna compare.
Oh yeah, you gotta. It's good. It's good. What else did Luca do? Luca Guadagnino. Suspiria, the new one. Bones and All, A Bigger Splash. Music video. Short music video, TV series. Am I the right person?
Yeah, he's
got 7 upcoming things.
Wow, that's awesome. I feel weird about the remake of Suspiria. Like I haven't seen it, but like the original is just like it's such a Dario Argento film. It's such a film of its
so
time.
different. The remake is completely different, but it's good.
Oh, you've seen it, okay? Because
yep.
Yeah, I just think the original movie is like so good. Like I would have to just treat it.
It is. It's yeah. No, it's kind of like apples and oranges, honestly, because.
But that's good. That's how remakes should be. They should be different. They should.
I agree. Because nowadays, listen, Jake, I am pissed off.
Oh God, why?
When we went to see Longlegs in theater, which was I'll talk about it later. We saw all the posters in the theater, and all of but one, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, was a sequel or a remake, and I am mad about it. We have there are so many people out there with amazing original ideas, and they're not getting shown the light of day because, oh, well, let's just play off nostalgia and bring back. Listen, okay, I'm excited for Twisters. I'm excited for Freaky Friday, but now there's a Devil Wears Prada.
What?
No, stop.
Are they remaking it? Are they doing a sequel? What?
I think it's a sequel. Yeah, with all the same characters. I think it's a sequel. Yeah. Doesn't
like the first movie like just end so perfectly though?
Yes, like, it does. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, how?
Yeah.
Are you gonna come back from? How are you gonna make a sequel about that?
I mean, if
it's perfect.
I mean, if it's great, sure, but it's probably not. It's
probably not.
What sucks is that we're conditioned to sequels not being good, but they should be better. They should strive to tell more of the story or another part of the same story or to further develop something. It shouldn't just be the same thing over and over.
Right, but that's what sells, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's like, if you could have a sequel to... Okay. Terminator 2? Better than the first one?
Yes. Arguably, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Not to just go with James Cameron, but Aliens and Avatar 2 are also both great sequels.
Oh, you did like the second Avatar?
I did, yeah. Did you not like it?
I have not seen it yet.
It was good, but I also really loved the first one, so.
The first one was just so good. Oh, I loved it when I saw it in theaters.
Second one's really good. It's worth the wait. And it's...
Okay.
It doesn't feel like a cash grab. Like, it feels like...
Because
Because it just got delayed so many times because of, like, technology, and all the actors had to learn how to act underwater and, like dive and stuff like that, because a lot of the movie takes place in the water. Like it's a technical marvel. It is so damn well made. Like it's not like it might seem like it because of the wait and of the wait between the first and the second, but when the first movie came out, James Cameron was like, yeah, like I have plans for sequels. And he worked on 2, 3, 4, and 5 all at the same time, and that's why it took so long for these ones for 2 to come out. And now they're supposed to be every 2 to 3 years between them. they were working on all 4 sequels at the same time because apparently they're going to tell a much grander story. And Professor Lupin is going to be in the 3rd movie, and it's going to be about like something to do with like the fire. So I think they're doing the 4 elements because this one is about water, the 3rd one is going to be about fire, and then I'm like, oh, they're just doing Avatar, the other Avatar,
just like Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Okay, let's just copy that.
But I'm fine.
All right.
I'm fine with that. I mean, hey, Avatar, the first Avatar came out before the M. Night Shyamalan Last Airbender movie, so there you go.
Yeah, it did. I mean, yeah, I didn't watch the animated series Avatar.
Maddie.
No, I didn't watch the M. Night Shyamalan either. I haven't watched any of it.
Okay. It's a really good show.
But I know Airbender is great. I know it is.
Don't watch the Netflix show. Don't watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Ugh. Go if you do ever watch it, go watch it. It's like 60 episodes, like 3 seasons. It's not terrible.
Oh,
they're all
dang.
like 20 minutes.
I can do that. I can commit.
They're all like 20-minute episodes, and I won't give you any spoilers, but the writing for one of the characters is some of my favorite character writing ever.
Kiana Katara, what's her name?
No. Her name is Katara, but that's not who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
I do love Katara, though. I love every character in that show. They're all great.
What is it streaming on now? Paramount? It's probably on Paramount, which I don't have.
It's on Netflix, I think.
Oh, okay.
Last time I checked.
Okay. I'll check Netflix.
Yeah, it's great. It's obviously a family show that aired on Nickelodeon, but it especially as you get further into it, it just talks about such like deep topics. Like I remember being like a 7 or 8 year old kid and being like, oh my gosh, this show is talking about aging and like the power of mental capacity and like feeling at one with the earth and chakras and like healing trauma and like all these like deep things that I like that's like how I was exposed to a lot of deeper psychological topics as a child. And it was so beneficial because as a kid I could sit there and I could be like, this show is fucking awesome. This is so cool. And then as an adult I can be like, damn, they're talking about like overcoming like your trauma and like growing up and like how it's okay to retain your inner child, but you also but also maturing is okay, and you can get wisdom from being older but also from keeping that younger self inside of you. And it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite pieces of media ever. But if I'm recommending things to you, go watch Evangelion.
What's that?
It's 26 episodes plus a movie. It is probably my favorite thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Pretty close. The movie, I think.
Have you told me about it before?
Yes, I've told you about it before. I watched it like a year and a half ago.
Evangelion?
Yeah, that's also on Netflix. The movie, The End of Evangelion, it's my favorite movie of all time, I think. And
really?
Emily and I, we just she and I started. This is my 4th time watching it, and she and I started it, and we're just over halfway through. And it's an anime series. It's so impactful. I can't even put it into words.
Okay.
I did write a review for the movie, but it's filled with spoilers. So if you don't care, I can send it to you, and then you can be like, "Oh, this is what it means to you." But then also, I'd be spoiling stuff. So
no spoilers.
You might not get as much out of it because for its first half, it's very action heavy. It's like giant robot fights and stuff like that. But then as it goes on, it really delves into like the psychological side of things, and it's also about like trauma and like how worth it is it to keep living and like keep going, like when all you've been dealing with is like blow after blow after blow, and it's like so inspiring and so beautiful, and I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things.
Interesting.
Ever. And it's really fucking short. It's 26 episodes. They're all like 20 minutes each. And then there's a movie. And then that's it. That's the entire series. And then and then later on they made another set of movies. It's like an alternate story, and those are pretty good too. But like that's not mandatory.
Okay.
But like I said, it starts off with a lot of action, so it might not be your thing.
Well, I'll just bring out a coloring book. I'll do some coloring while they're doing some action scenes, and then I'll get into it.
Okay. I could even just like find a clip and send it to you, and you can just decide like if this is something you might find interest in.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, what have you watched recently?
I watched this movie called Cold Copy, which has this actress who I love. Her name is Belle Powley, and she was in this podcast from Q Code, Soft Voice, and her voice is just immaculate. She plays the character of Soft Voice. But in this movie, she had an American accent, which is not as good. But she was still good. So I was just thinking about this movie earlier. It's kind of like a rise of the bad karma character, which I love. I love like someone just striving to be at the top no matter what it takes. And she fucking destroys everyone. So it's good. She plays a journalist. Where did I watch this? Netflix, I think. It's also got Tracy Ellis Ross in it, which she has been in American Fiction. If you haven't seen that, I don't remember if I talked about that or not, but it was an amazing movie.
Oh, I think you did. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so good. She was also in Candy Cane Lane, which is not good, and Labor Pains, which is not good.
Is Candy Cane Lane the one with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So bad.
Was that on the Plus or like Hulu or something?
It was on some mainstream thing. Prime, Apple. Well, it was last year. It says Prime with ads, but we did not watch it with ads. Maybe it was on Disney.
Ad blocker.
Yeah. Get that ad blocker.
That's how I watch movies.
It was on some. Maybe Prime. I think it was Prime. Let's see. Okay, highest ranking over the last couple months was honestly these last few days. So, okay. Possessor, a movie by Brandon Cronenberg, who also did Infinity Pool, which I watched today, which was also really good.
Fantastic.
It's just it hits my genre of like suspension of disbelief / sci-fi / magic. And I'm all in for it. And it was very, very violent. Probably both of these movies were very... Infinity Pool and Possessor were two of the most violent movies I've probably ever, been disturbed about. But, they were so good. I love the ideas behind it. You just have to, be like, okay, along for the ride, you know? You're not gonna question what the scientific process is. You're just here. You're gonna watch it. And it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, Infinity Pool had Mia Goth. God, she's crazy. She's an insane person. I will say the one thing I don't like what we talked about earlier was like the sexuality within the horror movies. It's like I can do without it. You know, I don't want to be turned on during a movie I'm watching.
unless it's like Friday the 13th and the sex scenes are terrible.
Yeah, but these sex scenes were good, you know, and yeah, you need to watch both of them. Both of them, Possessor and Infinity Pool. I would say maybe more Infinity Pool, yeah. But the horror aspect took over for me, and I love it. It was so good, and I will explore more of Brandon Cronenberg. He also did Antiviral, Broken Tulips, Please Speak Continuously and Describe Your Experience as They Come to You. Oh, that's a short. Okay.
It's a great title. I love that. Wait, is Brandon Cronenberg related to David Cronenberg at all?
Yes. Yep. He's the son. He's
Heck
his
yeah.
son.
I figured. That's awesome.
So I also want to watch David Cronenberg. The Fly has been on my list for a really long time, and
The Fly is so good. It's you like
it?
I love it. It's so good. It was on my watch list for the longest time, and then I finally watched it a couple years ago or something. It is so good.
Okay.
It is so.
I need to watch
good.
it.
I love The Fly. I don't want to overhype it, but I love The Fly. It's so good. It's got Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis and all these great gory practical effects. It's I don't think it's as I don't know if it's as gory as The Thing, but it comes pretty close.
Nice.
But I love The Fly. The Fly is fantastic.
Great. Yeah. I've been meaning to watch it for so long.
Yeah, I recommend it.
The Thing is on my Halloween list this year, so.
Which Thing? The 50s one, the 80s one, or the 2010s?
The 80s one.
Okay.
I mentioned before that we saw Longlegs in theater.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I liked it, but I just I couldn't take Nicolas Cage seriously. I'm sorry. He just, with his makeup, he looked like the John Travolta character from Hairspray, and I couldn't get over it. Like, he had these big cheeks, and
oh my gosh,
then he would like scream, and it screams something like when Noah screams, and I just couldn't.
That's so ironic that you say that, because one of the movies I watched has both of them in it, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
Oh, was it the wait, what was it?
Face Off. Finally saw Face Off for the first time.
Yes.
Not to take over what you're saying. Face Off is Off is fucking amazing. I love it so much. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, yes. Please continue.
Okay. Longlegs has Kiernan Shipka in it, am I right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She's also in Twisters.
Yep.
And so is David Cornsweet, who is the main love interest. He's the projectionist in Pearl with Mia Goth, and he's also going to be the new Superman.
Yes.
I love him. I love that man.
Is he really? He's going to be the... Stop it.
Yeah, he's going to be the new Superman.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's a new Superman in 2024?
No, 2025. Next year. No, it's going to be good. James Gunn is doing it. And it's going to be actually good. It's not going to be as bad as Man of Steel. I guarantee it. Listen, Maddie, the only Superman that matters to me is Christopher Reeve 1978. But I'm interested in David Cornsweet portraying Superman, because we haven't had a real Superman movie since like 2006, maybe.
Okay, I trust you.
Here. I'm gonna send you the set photo of him as Superman, because they're really going all out. Like, they're giving him like the older suit look and everything. So I'm
Oh wow! Look at that. He's got the tidy whities in the red.
Yep.
He's got the full blue suit with the long cape. Wow.
They're going for it. They're not
vintage.
They're not
vintage.
They're not afraid to go for it. They're not like, we have to be dark and edgy. It's like, no, dude, just do fucking Superman.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. One more movie I watched is called The One I Love. Yeah, I watched this maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, probably based on a Judy recommendation.
Those are the best.
It's got Mark Duplass and Elizabeth Moss, and this movie was so good. It's about a couple who goes on like a retreat, and then they encounter kind of like their doubles on the retreat. So like, but they're like ideal doubles. So like, when the male guy goes into the house, he encounters his ideal perfect version of his wife, and they have all this fun together and stuff. And then when the woman goes into the house, she encounters all of this like ideal version of her husband, and they do all this stuff. But then they like come out and they talk about it, and it's just, it's crazy. It's like directed by Charlie McDowell, who he's done Windfall, The Discovery, Gilded Age. I have not seen any of those.
I haven't heard of any of those.
I love this movie. It's so good. It's like,
it sounds scary. Is it scary?
No, it's not scary. It's I mean, it's a little eerie, but it's not scary.
It sounds like Us, like the Jordan Peele movie. Have you seen that?
Oh no, it's not scary like that.
Oh, that movie's great. I love Us.
It's like they have these alternate versions of each other that they like have relationships with, but then they come out of it and they talk about their relationships with the people inside versus the people like them together outside. And it's really interesting.
So is it like that Rick and Morty episode where Morty's parents go to therapy and then they like see how they actually view each other?
Kinda, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Uh-huh. So like Mark Duplass goes in and he has his ideal version of his wife. in the house, in the lake house. Then he comes out, he has his real wife, but then she goes in and she has her ideal version of Mark Duplass, and they spend all this time together and everything, but then they come out and they reconnect and they're like, what the fuck? And then they kind of have to choose, like, which reality they want to live in.
Huh.
It's so good. I love it.
Okay.
I watched it on the plane, but you can watch it on Tubi, I think. I love Mark Duplass. I think he's my favorite director.
Wait, who's your favorite director?
Mark Duplass.
What has he directed?
Jeff, Who Lives at Home with Jason Segel. Oh, actually, he's been more of a producer. Creep, The Puffy Chair, Blue Jay, which his brother starred in.
I think you told me about that one.
Horse Girl, The Skeleton Twins.
Oh, I've heard of
Tangerine.
that. I've heard of those.
Blue Jay's really good too. Oh god, yeah. With it's starring his brother, Jay Duplass. Anyway, that's the only one I wanted to mention because all the rest were shit. Like Beautiful Wedding with Dylan Sprouse. The Mean Girls remake. Love Renee Rapp, but the whole remake situation is stupid.
Maddie, I must ask you, and I do not mean this in an insulting way at all. Genuinely. Why did you watch the Mean Girls remake? You just had your beautiful, passionate speech about how bad remakes are, or how they should be,
I know.
and then you went and saw what looks like one of the most soulless remakes ever made.
It was completely soulless, but you know what? So, in my concert venue, I saw Renee Rapp, and she was awesome. And I met her dad and her grandpa, and they were so sweet.
Aww.
I loved her show, and I wanted to watch the remake. And honestly, she was the best part of it. So,
you know what?
That's why I watched it. But yeah, that's it.
You know what? That's a very valid reason. You had a personal connection. That's a very, very valid reason. I take back what I said.
No, you're good, man. 'Cause, yeah, it's a bad idea.
Do you know that there's 4 different versions of Freaky Friday?
4?
Yeah, like they're all remakes though. There's the good one with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, and then there's one in the 70s where Jodie Foster's the daughter, and then there was one in the 90s, and then there's a Disney Channel one from 2018 that's like a musical for some reason.
Yes. I remember that one, but I don't remember the Jodie Foster one.
She's really young in it. I think it was the time she was in Taxi Driver, around that era of Jodie Foster.
Oh wow, okay.
She's 9 or 10 in that movie. I haven't seen any of them except for the 2003 version because obviously that's the best version. Obviously, there's no question in my mind. But I guess there's 5 different versions of A Star Is Born, and I really liked the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper one. So
I watched the one with Judy Garland, and it was good too. But
yeah, I'm sure it is. I love
Then there's
her.
one with Barbara Streisand,
and then there's one in the 50s or some shit.
So they're remaking Freaky Friday. What do you think? Well, no. Sequel. Is it a sequel or remake?
It's a sequel, and the reason I'm behind it is because Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan got together and got the project started themselves. Disney's involved, but they went to Disney and said, "Hey, we have an idea. Can we make this?" And they're like, "Sure, go ahead."
Okay.
All
right.
So for both of them coming back, and for that way of it being, for that being the way it started, I have hope. I'm cautiously optimistic. So do you remember that time I told you about this 80s movie called Revenge of the Nerds, and I said it was the worst 80s movie ever?
Uh-huh.
It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
So I think I found another movie that it's probably second place for worst 80s movie. And you know coming from me, that's a really big statement. That holds a lot of power.
Uh-huh.
So I watched this movie called Deathstalker, and it was fucking atrocious. I hated it so much. It's it's just a ripoff of like the Conan the Barbarian movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not really a ripoff of Highlander, but it's kind of the same kind of vibe. It is fucking garbage. The main actor sucks. His character sucks. He just goes around and just has he just goes around and kills people and sleeps with a bunch of women, and whether they're into it or not, and it's really gratuitous, and it's terrible. It's awful. It's really gross. So then I watched Deathstalker 2. And Deathstalker 2 is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
Oh.
It's like, okay, so Deathstalker, the character, is kind of like James Bond or Doctor Who, where he's always played by a different actor. The tone is always different. It's like a different thing every time. So Deathstalker 2, I would describe it as like the sword and sorcery version of Sleepwalkers, if that makes sense. So the first movie, so the first movie is really bad. It's terrible. But the second movie is like it's like this light, campy, fun adventure. The score is really good. The two leads are really fun. The acting's kind of bad, but that's also what makes it so much fun. Like, obviously it's low budget, but it's like it's so great. Just imagine like the vibes of like an 80s like fantasy sword and sorcery type of movie, but with the tone of Sleepwalkers. And it knows it's that kind of movie. Like, it's intentional. So literally, I'm not joking. I gave Deathstalker the first one a 0.5 star and the second one 5 stars. And I wrote down my review is it's like if Deathstalker was good. And then I said the first movie was awful, so I hated it, but the second one was awful, so I loved it. And the main character, so the main his female companion, she's like a princess trying to reclaim her castle. And the entire movie, she is so she just wants to sleep with him the entire movie. And she's dropping these obvious hints the whole time that she just wants to, just get laid, basically. And he is so dense the whole movie, and it's hilarious. It's like she literally like falls into his arms, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" and she's like, "Would you ever want to marry a princess?" And he's like, "No, because princesses are like, that brings out the worst in a woman." It's so fucking terrible. It's so funny. I love it so much. It's so bad, but it's so good at the same time. Like, there's a scene where they're running from bad guys or something, and then they escape. And he's like, he says to her something like, "You got to get up pretty early in the morning to catch me." And then they get found by the bad guys, and the bad guys like start shooting arrows at them. And she's like, "Oh, I guess it is really early in the morning." It's amazing. It's terrible. It's amazing. It is so.
Oh God.
I highly recommend watching it. It still does have a bit of the gratuitous nature that carried over from the first film. Like, it's like a Friday the 13th movie. Like there's a lot of like sexy stuff that's not really needed. There's a lot of like nudity that's not really needed. But like the campy tone of it is just so much fun, and everybody making it is clearly just having the time of their lives. If you've ever seen Labyrinth, with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly,
yes, the
bad guy in Deathstalker 2, he is basically trying to do a David Bowie from Labyrinth impression, and it's except he doesn't have the Bowie bulge. I saw Inside Out 2, which I also loved. I watched I watched this movie. I also loved this movie, but it's got a really long title. Sailor Moon Super S the movie, The 9 Sailor Guardians Unite, Miracle of the Black Dream Hole. I've also been watching the Frankenstein movie series that Hammer Studios made in the late 50s and early 60s. So those all star. So they're not about the monster, they're about the doctor, and Peter Cushing plays him, the guy from Star Wars. And the first two especially are really good. And then the third one I didn't like as much, but I'm only halfway through that series. I've been watching the Resident Evil movies rewatching them with Lucy and Graham, and neither of them have seen them, and that's been a lot of fun because those movies are a lot of fun.
Nice.
If you haven't seen those, I recommend most of them. So.
Really? Okay.
Oh, last night, actually, or 2 nights ago, I finally watched Deathstalker 3 after being unable to find it for a long time. And there's 4 Deathstalker movies, so the only one I have left to watch is the 4th one. And Deathstalker 3 was fine. I liked again, it's like totally different actors, totally different continuity. This one I would say is a better prequel to part 2 than the first one is, just because they kind of carried over a lot of the similarities of the character from part 2 into this one, even though this one is obviously made after. You could watch it beforehand and it could be, if that makes any sense. But the movie itself was just all right. It wasn't anything special. It was just kind of middle of the road. I think I gave it 2.5 stars, but vibes wise it's pretty good, but nothing compares to Deathstalker 2, because the vibes of Deathstalker 2 are just perfect.
Okay.
But in Deathstalker 3, the villain's name is Truck Sawdust. So if that doesn't give you some kind of clue as to what the fuck these movies are, that's what they are. But again, okay. just Deathstalker 2. That's the only one you gotta watch.
Okay. Heard.
Oh, and it's also only like 80 minutes long. It's super short. So.
Oh, I'm down. Yeah. Let's go.
I mean, if you ever want to watch it, like just let me know. I'll watch it with you. I'll watch it again. I mean.
Okay. Yay. Okay.
It's like like one of those movies where like I'm laughing along with it, but also at it at the same time. If that makes any sense. Like it rides that fine line. I think Sleepwalkers does a little bit of a better job riding that line of like it's intentional, but just imagine like an 80s like swords movie, but with that amount of like insanity and like the tone.
Okay, yes, I'm in.
Okay.
I am in.
It's like that time I said, "Hey, I watched Electric Dreams," and you're like, "Hey, that sounds good. We should watch that." And then we did. And then and then now we're both like, it's one of the most underrated 80s movies ever.
It's oh my god. I love it.
I love that.
Love Electric Dreams.
I do too. I love Virginia Madsen. I love Harold Smith or whatever his name is. Lenny Von Dolan. Love both of them. Really great movie. It is one of it's up there for me for 80s gems. I should just make a list that's like 80s gems that are like
yeah, you should.
It would be that Boy You Could Fly, Deathstalker 2, Highlander, you know.
Next time we're gonna watch Highlander 1 and 2 /
yes.
Jake's edit / director's cut. Watch any and every version that you can, because we're gonna dive into it all.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yep, me too.
Well, thank you for listening.
I was gonna say, yes, thank you for listening.
I'm gonna be here for it, you know?
Okay.
Talk about it, and let's do it.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time then. Keep therapizing, and next time we'll have our revenge and Highlander 2.
Keep therapizing.